On our life's journey, as we seek purpose and connection, we are called to place our faith and trust in something greater than our own understanding. We are called by someone who already loves us and offers himself to us, Jesus Christ. His body, given daily, his blood poured out for us. We never journey alone in life. Through the Eucharist, we encounter his real presence and others who share our faith. Together, we become one with him in his very flesh. And when we bring his presence out into the world, we can be light for others. This is the gospel call to make disciples of all nations, laying down our lives for others. The time is now to unite our hearts with his for the life of the world.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Nick Morganelli. I'll take you to Franklin County, where youth went bowling with the bishop, and it was a blessing.
And Father Brian McGrath talks about the upcoming Lenten season while dishing up a giant meatball with a hidden surprise. It's all just ahead on Reel to Reel. Hello and welcome to Reel to Reel. Just in time for the start of Lent, the popular streaming series The Chosen has just launched its 4th season. Here is a sneak preview.
Darkness is not the absence of light. It is more uncontrollable and sinister. You were there, waiting, because the darkness is not dark to you. At least, not always. The coming darkness was too deep for us to grasp.
It would appear that we now want the same thing as Pilate.
Senior leaders in every district should question and expose Jesus.
I just can't stop seeing how we could be doing things faster and more efficiently.
You deserve a stipend for your specialized work. You can at least make sure that you have resources to keep the mission going.
My ledgers are in the red. I told you to make life difficult for the followers of Jesus.
It is on this rock that I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
This infernal chaos. Why can no one control these people?
What just happened to all of you? It's about to get worse.
Now that I'm here, physical death does not interrupt our eternal life.
Lazarus! Come out!
I remember you wishing there could be another way. And looking back, I do too. I still don't know why it has to be this way. The bitter often mingled with the sweet. You told us it would be like that. Was how you lived. The man of sorrows. Acquainted with grief.
As I said off the top of the show, the season of Lent is fast approaching with Ash Wednesday this coming week. Joining me now to talk more about this season in the church is our own Bishop, William Byrne. Hi, Bishop. Great to see you today.
Hi, Sharon. Nice to see you, too.
Thank you. Well, first of all, with Lent coming up this week, we have so many opportunities to focus on our faith more intently, I think. And one really great way, I think, is by watching a show that's taking the networks by storm, The Chosen. I know you're really a big fan of the early seasons. And if folks haven't seen it, is it a good thing to do during Lent?
Oh, The Chosen is an excellent way to enter in a very creative and imaginative way into the life of Jesus. It's very well acted. It's very creatively put together. It has some fictional qualities to it where they fill in the story, but that doesn't prevent it from being a useful way of experiencing and meditating on the life of our Lord. So I recommend it as a great Lenten practice.
Now, besides watching The Chosen, what are some key ways that we can all make this a good Lent?
The three elements of a good Lent are prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. We're all familiar with fasting because we're saying, what are you giving up? What are you giving up? And then almsgiving is making sure that you give a little bit extra to the poor. So if you've given something up, you can translate that into actual donations to help those who are poorest among us. And then prayer, spending some extra time in front of the Blessed Sacrament is ideal. And so I recommend maybe saying a rosary when you walk, or turning off the radio and listening, and just meditating on the scriptures, or saying a rosary as you drive. All of these are great ways of having an excellent Lent.
All right, thank you so much, Bishop Byrne, and happy Lent to you.
Happy Lent to you too, Sharon. God bless.
Thank you. And for more information on The Chosen, we have a link for you at iobserve.org. We're all familiar with receiving ashes on Ash Wednesday, but where do they come from? All parishes use palms from Palm Sunday, burning them to create ashes for Ash Wednesday. We learn more now in this CNS video.
So we are cutting up the palms that we got last Palm Sunday so we can burn them on Ash Wednesday.
Well, we're cutting the palms for Palm Sunday, and they're going to burn them tomorrow. And they put the ashes on our forehead and the sign of the cross to remember what God did.
But the ashes are a visible sign for us that we are entering a time of penitence, a time of preparing ourselves for Jesus.
So here at St. Bartholomew, we have a tradition of collecting the palms for about a month, and then a few days before Ash Wednesday, we take the children from CFF, that's the religious ed for children that attend public school, and we invite them over to help us cut the palms, because by cutting the palms, it makes it easier to burn. And then we'll invite over the school children, the 6th graders from school, and they're going to help us burn the palms.
These branches have hung in our homes, reminding us of the path that Jesus took for each one of us.
Well, it's important to see where the ashes come from, first of all. Being blessed with these ashes and seeing the palms burned gives them an idea that, oh, there is a whole purpose on this journey for having these palms, and then these ashes, these palms are turned to our ashes. We're starting the cycle all over again.
We are learning that we won't always be on this earth, and we have to repent now because we have to be ready for death, and when we're about to die, we have to be ready to start repenting and be full to God and everything.
The palms are a sign of joy, triumph, but like everything mortal, they eventually die. So by the time people are bringing their palm back several months later, 9-10 months after they got them, they're pretty dried out and crackly, and so they're ready to be burnt up. And so they provide us with the material with which will be signed on Ash Wednesday, reminding us that the cross is part of our lives too, and willingly taken up in the season of Lent provides us with a reason to rejoice. We'll rejoice with Christ in his entry into Jerusalem at Palm Sunday, but then we'll rejoice even more the following week at his resurrection.
And still to come on Reel to Reel, Nick Morganelli tells us about some young adults in Franklin County who had a ball with the bishop. And are you looking for some comfort food before Lent starts? Well, Father Brian McGrath has a recipe made with eggs from his own chickens, and we'll get some tips on how you can make this a good Lent. It's all still to come on Reel to Reel.
Like Catholic TV on Facebook. Once you're there, you can join in on discussions, make friends with other Catholic TV fans, watch behind-the-scenes videos from the studio,
just finished this
and stay up to date with the Catholic world. All this at facebook.com/CatholicTV.
On our life's journey, as we seek purpose and connection, we are called to place our faith and trust in something greater than our own understanding. We are called by someone who already loves us and offers himself to us, Jesus Christ. His body, given daily, his blood poured out for us. We never journey alone in life. Through the Eucharist, we encounter his real presence and others who share our faith. Together, we become one with him in his very flesh. And when we bring his presence out into the world, we can be light for others. This is the gospel call: to make disciples of all nations, laying down our lives for others. The time is now to unite our hearts with his for the life of the world.
You are watching Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here again is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Multiple church leaders in Franklin County have been meeting in a collaborative effort to plan events that bring middle and high school youth together for fun and faith-filled events. And who better to kick off this effort was Bishop William Byrne, who participated in Bowling with the Bishop. Nick Morganelli shows us how the ball got rolling.
It's exciting to see everyone finally coming together and everyone having a good time.
Veronica was one among nearly 50 middle and high school youth from several religious education programs in the Franklin County Deanery, along with pastors, deacons, and DREs that attended this first ever event with Springfield Bishop William Byrne. Bowling with the Bishop is the kickoff event of several to come, designed to bring confirmed youth and confirmation candidates together.
In the past couple years, churches struggled to have confirmandi available at the time for their parish. And we realized that the children need to come together as a group and form, a kind of a relationship. Bishop is coming on the Feast of Our Lady of Fatima to do confirmation in one place with 15 students. That's all we could muster in Franklin County this year. Parish families are getting smaller, and we're trying to make them bigger by working together.
Deacon Bucci was on the planning team for this event, along with DREs like Virginia Christie.
This Bowling with the Bishop stemmed from us DREs and priests from the deanery meeting, because all of the confirmation students in the deanery are going to be confirmed in one mass together. We want the kids to kind of get familiarized with the other kids, start to recognize them, so we will be doing events throughout the year. We need to get the 7th graders and 8th graders started to see kids who they will be confirmed with.
Meeting new people is great. It always helps in bringing all the parishes that are in the Diocese of Springfield together, because Bishop Byrne really wants to have all the confirmation group get to know each other and work together.
What's great is they're all going to end up getting confirmed with each other, and so it builds these friendships. God doesn't happen only in church or only in a religious ed classroom. God is everywhere. God's in our friendships. God's in bowling. I'm not sure he's in my bowling, because I haven't knocked down too many. Every pin is very safe for when I get up.
It's always good to get a strike when you're bowling, and there were prizes given out at this event, but it was all much more than just the score.
Connor Livingstone. Connor! Whoa! The goal is for the kids to identify as Catholics, want to bring their friends to things, to have them ultimately to meet Jesus Christ. But we start by having a lot of fun and laughter in a bowling alley.
Oh my Lord. When you have a smaller group, it's good to get a bunch of parishes together, and the kids can see that there are other people other teens besides them in the greater region who go to church and who participate in these types of events. I'm just looking forward to maybe a greater unity, a way in which kids can kind of come together and see that they're not alone in their faith.
Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
And now these teens recognize there are other Catholic youth in their area just like them. Knocking the pins down for Jesus for Real to Real. I'm Nick Morganelli.
Thanks, Nick. That story was right up his alley. And finally today, with this Tuesday being Fat Tuesday, traditionally the last day we can splurge with the calories before Lent, we decided to check in with Father Brian McGrath, the pastor of St. Mary's in Lee, for some Lenten inspiration and to see what's cooking with him and his chickens. Well, it's so nice to be with you here today, Father Brian, at St. Mary's in Lee in this February snowy weather that we've been having all winter long. But we have a good hearty meal to kick off Lent before Lent starts, right?
And we were thinking, Lent is around the corner. Of course, the 3 big things of Lent are prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. And we thought, before we jumped into it, we'd do something a little bit special before we started Lent.
Yeah. So prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Tell us about what folks typically do during Lent, Catholics and Christians.
Well, as we know, Lent begins, and it's kind of be a fun day because it begins on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, of all days.
But the 3 big ones are prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. And really, it's a worthwhile thing for the 40 days of Lent that approach to think about what can I do in my prayer life, whether it be make an extra effort to go to daily mass or find an adoration chapel where you could give time to God to just be quiet before the Eucharist. Or even if you just your own personal time, find some personal prayer. And I think most importantly, especially families, to carve out the time to pray as a family. I think we really do ourselves a wonderful gift if we can take the time as a family, even before meals or before you go to sleep at night, to say a little prayer together. Fasting is the other one. We're only required during Lent to fast 2 days, Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. And the fast is meant for those between the ages of 18 and 59.
Okay.
Of course, anybody can fast, but we especially want to watch ourselves with dietary restrictions or elderly or the young children. Make sure they're eating the right stuff. And then the third thing is works of mercy or works of charity. And I really think that, especially in this time of Lent, we need to focus on those who don't have. And so whether it be taking on a special charity in your area, we have special collection bins at our entrances of our church to bring a canned good. You know the needs, and ask God to open up to you what's a work of charity. It could be a neighbor in need, and you make a special effort during this season of Lent to go over for a meal or a cup of coffee or something special.
So we're going to be making a giant meatball, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
So everyone loves spaghetti and meatballs, but I thought here's Lent right around the corner. Let's make our spaghetti and meatballs a little bit special. So we've done this giant meatball in my family for a while, and it's just kind of a fun thing because it just takes what we like to have and makes it a little bit special.
And it's an Italian tradition?
Yeah, I think it's mostly out of my Italian side.
Yeah.
The Irish definitely don't do some of this stuff, but yeah.
And we have some chicken eggs from your chickens.
So we'll meet the chickens, I think,
Yeah,
in a little while.
we'll go out and see 'em.
So to do the meal, we need some hard-boiled eggs already peeled. We have our ground pork and ground beef, some breadcrumbs and water, a couple of regular eggs, peppers and mushrooms and onions that are chopped up, and some spices. I like basil and salt and pepper.
All right. Well, sounds good. What do we start with here?
So I start by cracking a few eggs into a bowl.
And how many chickens do you have?
So I have 6 chickens, and they're just about 9 months old, so they're still laying eggs.
Yeah.
I add a little bit of water, about a 1/4 cup, and a whole cup of breadcrumbs. So we'll just mix that up so that it's kind of evenly mixed. So now we're going to just fold in our ingredients. So some pork.
How much is that? About a pound?
About a pound.
Okay.
Some beef. We'll do some peppers.
Green peppers.
And the mushrooms.
And onion.
Yeah. And a little bit of spice. So we're just going to mix this up. And this is a fun thing to do with kids because kids just love to get messy.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's like playing in the sandbox.
you don't want to over mix it too much, but I do want it all incorporated so that it's pretty evenly mixed. So see how it's evenly mixed?
Yep.
So we'll take a break and we're going to shape it now.
Okay.
So we've cleared off our workspace, and I'm going to make you, or have you, do the giant meatballs. Look at the size of that meatball. That look big?
That looks...
So I want you to shape it into a
Okay.
meatball shape. And I'll make another one, just so we have 2 meatballs.
Could you put some cheese in here if you wanted?
Yeah, that's always good. Another way to make this is like a meatloaf. And those would be delicious as they are. What we're going to do is we're going to hide an egg inside this.
Oh, you're going to cover the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Don't watch now. It's a secret.
Well, what's interesting is sometimes, like the first time we did this with family and they didn't know it was coming, that when you slice into it, they'll know. But
oh, yeah.
they come by like, what's the giant meatball about? Ta-da!
Okay, this looks
So what
really
we're going to do is put this in the oven.
At what's the temperature?
So I've got it at 375.
Yeah.
We'll leave it in there for about 50 minutes.
Okay, we'll tell Alexa to 50 minutes, Alexa.
Set the timer.
Wow, you have a great coop here, Father Brian.
Yeah, I built it with all the scraps from around the parish and lots of wonderful donations by wonderful people. So, but we've had chickens here for a bunch of years. This is a new batch. So these are Orpingers, and they're about 8 months old. And so they are in the prime of life. They're having a blast.
And you keep them nice and warm in the coop in the up there. They have a heater.
They're a little bit upset about having to come out for some bread, but they, you know, one of the great things about having chickens, I think, though, like I have almost no scraps that go down a garbage chute or anything.
Wow, that's great.
And then with the school, I'll even get, like, when they prep the school lunch, the salad bar, I'll get the scraps from that and give them.
And no roosters, right?
No roosters. That's a town regulation.
Really? Oh.
Well, the noise. You know, if you're out in the woods, you could have roosters.
Well, very nice. Let's go in and check out the meatloaf.
All right.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good in here, Father Brian. Let's see what we have in the oven.
Like we're ready.
Oh, that looks amazing. Wow. So the eggs kind of broke up.
They came
out of their little houses.
That's okay. But this is the fun part, the serving. So what we do.
So you made a little pasta.
A little marinara.
Make slices. Oh, nice. Wow. This is going to be so good to kick off Lent.
Right.
You're so busy. You have three churches, right? A school.
2 cemeteries.
2 cemeteries.
2 rectories.
2 rectories.
And the chickens.
And the chickens.
For you?
Thank you. All right. Happy Lent.
Yes, bon appetito.
Bon appetit. Oh. So good. Love it. I can taste all the peppers and the onions in here. I like how you have them in larger chunks so you can really get the flavor of each individual bite. As always, Father Brian's cooking leaves our mouths watering. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. Be sure to keep up with all of the latest news on the Catholic Church, both here in Western Massachusetts and around the world, on our news and information site, iobserve.org. There you'll read articles prepared by our team of reporters along with our partners at Our Sunday Visitor. That's iobserve.org. And also you can follow us on Facebook. We are at Catholic Communications. I'll see you right back here at this same time next week for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Enjoy your week.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.